That's like the dude. Like I feel like we're having the exact same conversations over and over again.
Because the same shit keep happening over and over again in a different clothes, but it be the same motherfucker under them. It makes you wonder, like, what made white people first hate us and fuck with us?
One goal, one thing, one room, and that shit don't change. And the same, real niggas do real fucking things.
Of course, we get into the levels of fear, which you don't understand, hate, ignorance,
all that.
But when you see how it's been trepidated for so long, it's like damn.
What the fuck? We ain't never came at y'all like y'all thought we whatever would, and y'all still come at us with the fuck
because,
shit.
Because that's what the meme said. The meme said we didn't done this, we didn't done that, and the last stuff it was like we've even forgiven you, we've even prayed for you, we've done all these things, you still fucking us, and like. The meme has merit, I can say it now, but when I read the meme, I just got mad. Like, man, don't be asking them white people for this. I just got mad even reading the meme. I was like, man, fuck them. Like, and of course, we often have to always give the caveat, not all white people, but y'all know the fuck we talking about.
But it's a question that you do ask, even if you don't ask it publicly, you do ask eternally, why?
The study found when 6-year-old African-American children were asked about interracial friendships, the majority responded like this.
Carrie was trying to help her.
And how much would they like it if the two were friends?
Really like it.
But watch how they respond by age 13.
Carrie, she's a bully, so she pushed Abby.
Do you think that Chris and Alex are friends?
No, not really.
The optimism we heard from young black children fades with age. At age 6, 59% of black children think the two kids in the picture are friends. By 13, a total flip. 63% do not think they're friends, which matches white teens' attitudes. Our expert says experiences like 13-year-old Jimmy's of rejection begin to explain the disappointing trend.
To say because you're black, so you can't hang out. Her and her son.
Oh, so she kind of very openly said that the reason why her son could not hang out with you and your family was because you guys are black.
Yep.
Because of their skin.
Dante was bullied so badly because of his race, he had to change schools.
I've been bullied for like the way I looked and the way of my skin at my previous school that I went to.
And it's a section that's, like you said, disease that's poisoned in a way, and this poison just keeps getting refacilitated. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of great white people that we all know that aren't fucked like this. But the thing that we all know about each one of them is this: they still have some shit in them because they come up in this white racist fucking country. Even if they're the best of the best, you got some cousin that's fucked up. You got some uncle that's fucked up. There's not too many degrees of separation that your white ass could find that's so far off for you to find one of your fucked up people, and that's a problem as well. The fact that you almost the anomalies, even if it's thousands of you, you're thousands of anomalies by comparison to many of your relatives, and that's what gets frustrating for us because then you come and try to blame us for your racism.
Yep. Right.
We gotta go through them. Just stay together, keep moving, and don't get bit. Go. Are you getting this? Yeah, what is up? All right, let's go. Let's go. This is crazy. What? Ain't that some? These are some racist motherfucking zombies. Why would you even lock the door? I mean, the window's broken and... Oh, hell no. No. Oh, come on. What is that? They seriously wouldn't let her eat us.
Hey, guys. Isn't this great? These racist zombies are leaving us alone. Come on, we having a party.
I Heart Erica. I want to just put out this quote. She posted something that Elle Jones had put on her, I believe it's her Twitter, but she said, if black people epigenetically inherit trauma from slavery from our ancestors, what do the descendants of overseers and slave owners inherit? So basically she's saying, black people, we have racial trauma that is passed down our entire life. Generations have generations. So we have that trauma. What are our white counterparts inheriting.
Racial superiority.
Entitlement for sure.
That is a bar among bars.
Yeah.
Which with you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no. When you think about it, then that's exactly what y'all were saying. Like, they have a little bit of that in them, whether they want to realize it or not.
Because we all got unconscious shit that's been stuck with us, whether it's through conditioning, whether it's through the DNA aspect of, like, you know what I mean, within the power dynamics that we don't even always notice. And when you bring that into it, like, those same power dynamics is still in some of y'all unconsciouses, which is why y'all be uncomfortable in ways that y'all can't even understand sometimes regarding certain things regarding blackness.
And that's what I wanted to say in response to when Joe said, you know, when people ask, you know, why do they hate us? I think some of what we're talking about now is very much a part of that. And I think it's that maybe they don't necessarily hate us, but they hate us because in order to accept us, they have to give up some of that fucking power.
It's give up the power as well as look in the mirror.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they hate that. So they lash out at us because we're the most vocal about it.
Uh-huh.
Fuckers hate us because they ain't us.
They hate us because we ain't us? The fuck does an anus have to do with this?
They hate us because they ain't us.
That's not what it is.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. They hate us because we is us, and what we is doing is fucking terrible.
They fucking hate us because they ain't
Stop
us.
saying that.
Hate us because they ain't us.
They don't hate us because they ain't us. They don't hate us because
I'm
they ain't
used
us.
to it. They hate us because they ain't us.
Stop it. Stop it. Don't say it again.
Baby, haters gonna hate. And ain'ters gonna ain't.
But y'all got some, like, y'all not even educated on the unconscious shit that y'all have within you. There's still a lot of you that think privilege is a myth. And that's just the beginning of all the problems of racism. Some of y'all don't even understand what systemic racism even is.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's so many things that y'all won't even admit is real before we can even crack the real shit to get y'all cured.
That'd be frustrating for me. It's like y'all won't even fucking look at the elephants that be in a fucking room. Y'all just
Decades after the Civil War, many government agencies started to draw maps dividing cities into sections that were either desirable or undesirable for investment. This practice was called redlining, and it usually blocked off entire black neighborhoods from access to private and public investment. Banks and insurance companies used these maps for decades to deny black people loans and other services based purely on race. Historically speaking, owning a home and getting a college education is the easiest way for an American family to build wealth. But when Jamal's grandparents wanted to buy a house, the banks refused because they lived in a neighborhood that was redlined. So Jamal's grandparents were not able to buy a home, and because colleges could prevent them from attending through legal segregation, their options for higher education were really scarce. A big part of systemic racism is implicit bias. These are prejudices in society that people are not aware that they have. Studies show that resumes with white-sounding names get twice as many callbacks as identical resumes with black-sounding names. Implicit bias is one of the reasons why the black unemployment rate is twice the rate of white unemployment, even among college graduates today.
There's white allies out here that are still unwilling to give up their white privilege when that time comes. Because that all means, like, reparations. Are they willing to get rid of, like, let's say they're in a cushion job right now, and this is the time we got persons of color that are qualified for this job, and this is their chance to give up their job and let someone else of color or BIPOC, whoever, take their spot. They're not going to want that. They're not going to want to do that. And that's
part of it.
That's the fact, and that is part of it.
You know what I'm saying? And it comes down to, like, you know, you can love our culture all you want. It might be like, what's that mean? Was on there? They might like particular ones of us. They might like you. They might like to fuck you, what have you. But when it's really time to sacrifice, what you about?
They want to break bread with you, right? They like you. Well then, this is their problem too. So when we're marching and protesting and posting about the Michael Brown Jr.'s and the Tatiana Jeffersons of the world, tell your friends to pull up.
Like J Mix said, you know, like there's like a lot of white allies that, you know, talk that talk, but when it comes time to, you know, actually, you know, put some shit down, like for real, it's time they fold. You know, application is hard.
I mean, but again, the application is hard, but I need them to be educated before they can even, because sometimes they're not even, like, this concept that we just said, if we're just talking about this, there's many. They're not talking about it at all. You know what I'm saying? Like some of them just found out about sundown towns because the fucking Lovecraft Country show. And I'm like, you and I was like, y'all don't get taught y'all history.
Like, y'all don't know.
Y'all, man, what nigga? What sundown towns? What?
And they still exist, by the way.
Yeah, boy. At the same time, that's but don't you? We still get. Don't you drive it through the night?
Son,
nighttime.
This is a very black experience. I need y'all to know, white people, that to this fucking day, black people have anxiety when we're going through certain towns on road trips. To this day, there's certain exits. In 2020,
think about
we're
that.
like, I'm not trying to do that exit.
If you were black in an all-white town, you could not be in that town when the sun goes down, and it was a threat to your safety.
Some estimates, as many as 10,000 sundown towns had sprung up across the country by 1970. Being black after dark could mean arrest, harassment, assault, or worse. In 1968, 21-year-old Carol Jenkins was selling encyclopedias door to door in the sundown town of Martinsville, Indiana, when she was stabbed in the chest with a screwdriver and left to die in the street.
When I look at this, I'm like, so y'all have the nerve to tell me about my black card, about my place in America, and what I need to do, and what type of black person I need to be, and you don't even know who the fuck you are?
Some of that shit be kind of fugazi to me too, yeah, dog. Like I feel like some of you bitches be fucking knowing, but y'all just be playing stupid.
I be feeling like they don't be knowing something because their grandparents didn't want to say the bad shit.
I also agree with that, but I just feel like some of that is just them trying to, well, just some.
And some of them could be, bro.
They're just trying to.
Man, most of them. Listen.
I throw it all into the pot, bro.
Yeah.
It was very easy back then to hide that kind of stuff. Now you can't do that nearly as much. But even then, the algorithms will make it so that it's still hidden from them. So that's why they're not having these conversations.
Bro, it's in their textbooks. Yeah. It's in their textbooks. They have white Egyptians in their textbooks. You know what I'm saying? Like it's in their whole pool of water what they drink from every day. And white water,
supremacy.
They drink from this white supremacy every day, and it's in their everyday lives, son. Talking about escaping in education, they have talking about miseducation, dog. We had to learn about ourselves and be educated after we were miseducated. These motherfuckers got to change their whole culture because they're in everything that they ever see.
You just made me think of something on some real shit. Like they are empowered by their miseducation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We are fucked by ours, and they in turn are empowered by their the more ignorant and the less that they really know,
because
the more they can.
That their miseducation is education.
Yeah.
Right. They fucking grew up
in this country.
And,
here.
And like still grow up thinking that their race is the ones that have done everything. They've found everything. They've discovered everything. They've been everywhere, done all the fucking.
All the superheroes. All the superheroes look like them.
Right.
Even in the maps, your country, the most countries that are white look bigger than the other countries that have people of color.
Oh yeah, Africa has been
drawn small on purpose.
Dude, even the fucking map, like pre modern era, they used to have the fucking center of the map based from Europe.
Damn. We have all this trauma that we have accumulated from those same centuries, and they have all that empowerment, entitlement, lies, just all that, and hatred and fear that they don't. That even the best of them can't even always. Well, the fear breeded it all.
It's root, yes, that's the root. For sure. Fear.
It's just trippy to understand because like we're just finding out in our modern times. Like I say, as a society, we get even more sophisticated, even though we get stupid. We're just realizing our modern time stuff like things being tracked in the DNA, things that we have to unlearn. Things like there's so many things that we're still learning about. How we're dealing as Black Americans, because I often say we're the lost children of history. We're the only ones like us disconnected and mixed up the way that we are. Yeah. So like we're still figuring so much out in our young existence. They don't even know how much they need to figure out and unlearn. They don't even know the size.
They don't know. They don't know.
They're not even taught it, and it's just becoming apparent.
But they're privileged enough to not have to worry about that. They're in a comfortable spot. They're like,
the 60%.
Since those first ships arrived here from Africa that came across the sea, there were already black men in this country who were free. And as for those who came over on those terrible boats, they were called nigger and slave and told what to do and how to behave. And then Master started tripping, doing his midnight tipping down to the slave shacks where he forced he and great-great-grandma to be together. And if great-great-grandpa protested, he got tarred and feathered. And at the same time, the black men in the country who were free were mating with the tribes like the Apache and the Cherokee. And as a result of all that, we're a parade of every shade. And in this late day and age, you can be sure there ain't too many of us in this country whose bloodline is pure. But according to a geographical genealogy study published in Time magazine, the black African people were the first on the scene. So for what it's worth, the black African people were the first on earth, and through migration, our characteristics started to change and rearrange to adapt to whatever climate we migrated to. And that's how I became me, and you became you. So if we're gonna go back, let's go all the way back. And if Adam was black and Eve was black, then that kind of makes it a natural fact that everybody in America is an African American. Everybody in Europe is an African European, everybody in the Orient is an African Asian, and so on and so on. That is, if the origin of man is what we're gonna go on. And if one drop of black blood makes you black like they say, then everybody's black anyway.
Because I feel like we get all this about, oh man, the white man this and the system that and this and that, and they just get to lally along in their privilege and not take in. You know what, white people? You were fucked up and conditioned wrongly. A lot of things that you think is matter of fact and normal, nigga, it should not be normal. It's not fucking normal. You're like, you need to step out of that bounds. And I don't think that is told to a lot of you motherfuckers enough. That whole idea that the pain and trauma is passed through the DNA, well, in a way, no human being should be raised to hate. So you guys were traumatized too in the manner of being raised to hate us. So that's a trauma you motherfuckers need to work on. I don't think enough of you are even aware of it being existing.
One code, one thing, one rule, man, that shit don't change. And it's real niggas do real fucking things.